Good morning, students. Welcome to our class Biological Science. Dear students, in the previous class we have started our lesson biodiversity in living organisms. Diversity in living organisms. Students, we started our lesson diversity in living organisms. In the first class, we have discussed a lot of things in the universe, the types of organisms that present around us, and the similarities and differences that present among them. So all organisms, they have similarities and differences, dissimilarities. So a point that struck us, all organisms are look like similar. Different types of organisms are there. Among them, most of the organisms are look like similar, but at the same time they have the differences. In this lesson, we mainly discussed about it. Okay, in the first section we discussed about the plants. All the plants are appears look like, but in the plants also types of plants are there. On the basis of structure of the flowers, structure of the leaves, length of the stem, length of the roots, fruit size, seed size, structure of seed. We have discussed a lot of things about it. Especially in the plants and the structure of the seeds and the parts of the seeds, the plants are categorized into monocots and dicots. Dicot plants and monocot plants. In that one, we observed that the leaf structure is different. Root structure is different in the monocot and dicot. In the similar way, the human beings also, for example, if you take in your class, height of the student, length of the hand, length of the palm, length of the forefinger, okay, structure of the fingerprints, these all are similar. Every person have unique structures. They have special structures which is not matched with the others. Yes or no? So, in the diversity of living organisms, we are mainly going to discuss about the classification of animals and plants, or classification of organisms. What is classification? The grouping of organisms or gathering of organisms into the groups on the basis of their similarities and differences. We already discussed about the importance of classification. What is classification? The gathering the organisms into groups or making the organisms into groups on the basis of their similarities and differences. In that way, we discussed in the previous class about this classification. What is the need of classification? Classification gives the better knowledge and better idea about the organisms. The classification helps us to understanding the organisms in a easy manner. Classification helps us to find out the comparison among the organisms, and also it helps us to observe the dependence and the interdependence of organisms, and also it helps to know about the evolution. What is evolution? Evolution is the process of acquiring changes. In the manner of acquiring changes, the whole organism extincts and the new body appears, exists to us. Okay, in the growth, in the development of human beings, we all are come from the monkeys. According to the science, it is explained about us. From the monkeys, the humans are evolved by the process of evolution. At the time of acquiring small changes, it leads to the evolution which appears to the modern human beings. So come to the classification. So the classification is closely related with the evolution. Okay, now if you going to learn about the classification, in the classification of organisms, for example, if you take the birds, all birds, we know very well, all birds have the two wings, tail and the two legs, beaks and different types of habitats. On the basis of their structure and their food habitats and the groups they are divided into groups. In the birds also different types of groups is there. Pigeons is there, sparrows is there, crows, eagle, crane, peacock. Different types of organisms are there. Different types of birds and all are gathered as a bird. So if you come to the classification is closely related with the evolution. I already told you that evolution is the process of acquiring changes. During this process, the different types of organisms are acquired or they adapted. The organisms are adapted different types of variations to live better in their habitats. Do you understand that? What is the main purpose of having the variations? Okay, now I already told you about these variations. What are variations? The differences that present in the group of organisms which belongs to the same species is called variations. The differences that present in the group of organisms belong to the same species is called variations. The variations between the same group of organisms are always very less than the different species. Understand this point? What are variations? The differences that present in the organisms of the same species is called variations. The variations between the species to species is always greater than the variations that present in the same group of organisms. Come to the point classification. In this classification, we will notice about that different types of organisms and they have the similarities and dissimilarities. Okay, so the process of evolution, come to the process of evolution, different types of organisms have adapted different types of variations to live in their surroundings better in the better way. What is the main purpose of developing the variations? To live the organisms in the particular habitat, to live better in the particular habitat. This was the origin of species was written by evolution process, okay, related to the origin of species. The evolution origin of the evolution process, the theory of evolution, origin of species was written by the Charles Darwin in the year 1859. Who written this? Charles Darwin. So Charles Darwin written this 1859. Origin of species in the year 1859. According to him, evolution, or if you go into the evolution to the classification, it explains many things about it. Some groups of organisms may not have any type of changes in their body during his lifespan or during the entire their life, and while other groups of organisms have had variations during their growth and development in their lifetime. So these are variations. This is the process of evolution. Do you understand? Some group of organisms may not have developed these variations, and some group of organisms have adapted to develop these variations to live better in the habitat. Okay, so if you come to observe the body design of these organisms, the older organisms are simpler body design than the newborn ones or the new appeared young ones. Do you understand that? Okay, so come to the point classification. The classification in India. In India also the classification was done by different types of scientists before Christ. Okay, and the early years by Charaka and Sushruta. Who are they? Charaka, Sushruta. So the scientists, these two scientists, Charaka and Sushruta, also classified the plants. The main classification on the plants. They classified the plants and the medicinal values. Medicinal values of the plants. And also after them, Parasara also write in his book Vrukshayurvedam. What is the book? Vrukshayurvedam. Parasara wrote a book Vrukshayurvedam. He mainly classified the plants on the basis of the medicinal values. Do you understand that? So the classification is also done in India, also done by the scientists in India by their medicinal values of the plants. Medicinal values. Okay, medicinal values of the plants by the Charaka, Susruta and Parasara. They written or classified the books or classified the plants on the basis of their medicinal values. The classification mainly deals with the structure of the flower. The classification mainly dealt with the structure of the flower. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the modern classification. Okay, now, so after these scientists, so when come to the present situations, although scientists did not know about the similarities and differences that present among the organisms, they have to try to give a classification among these organisms. The first one was proposed by the Carolus Linnaeus in the year 1758. Carolus Linnaeus. So Carolus Linnaeus in the year 1758 proposed the classification, the plant or kingdom. Okay, now the classification table. It mainly consists of only two kingdoms. One is Animalia, and another one is Plantae. He mainly explains about this Animalia and Plantae. He denoted the classification that is dominated classification. The classification given by the Carolus Linnaeus was a dominated classification. So in this dominated classification, Linnaeus gave each organism two names. Okay, Linnaeus gave each organism two names, the former one and latter one. For example, if you take the human beings, our scientific name is Homo sapiens. So I already told you that Linnaeus gave each organism two names. The former one represents the genus and latter one represents species. Okay, that is dominated classification, domain. Okay, dominated classification. According to the Carolus Linnaeus, every organism or each organism has two names. The former one denotes the genus and latter one denotes about the species. And he did not think about the microorganisms or the other types of unicellulars or bacteria, different types of organisms. He didn't mention in his classification. Okay, so according to him, he classified the organisms, the species into families, family into order, order into phyla, phylum into kingdom. Okay, family or okay, species. This one species. Okay, so genus into sorry, this one family, genus into family, family into orders, orders into phyla, phyla into kingdom, kingdom into species. So he divide the organisms in this way. So the mainly Carolus Linnaeus divide the organisms into two types: animalia and plant, animals and plants. So that is dominated classification. In this classification, he gave each organism two names. For example, Homo sapiens. Here the former one represents the genus and the latter one represents the species. And he clarified or classified the organisms, genus into family, family into order, order into phyla, phyla into kingdom, kingdom into species. The first major breakthrough or the first major break to this dominated classification is given by come from the Whittaker. Who is he? Whittaker, another scientist. Whittaker in the year 1969. So Whittaker, so he proposed a theory that contains the five kingdoms. Okay, that is, and along these two, Monera. Monera means bacteria, Protista, and fungi. Okay, so in the Whittaker's classification, five kingdoms are there: Animalia, Plantae, Monera, Protista, fungi. Monera means bacteria. So he calculated these Monera, bacteria, Protista, and fungi. These animals are not suit to fit, or they are not fit to suit in this plant. They are animals. They have the different types of characters. Okay, some are made up of unicellular, some are multicellular, three multicellulars. Some have the nucleus and some may not have the nucleus. On the basis of these, he classified the kingdom into five kingdom classification. Okay, so the classification is mainly done by the observation of the different types of organisms. The first thing he calculated in the grouping of these organisms, either the organism possesses the nucleus or not. Okay, the classification is done by the organism whether they possess, that means they have the nucleus, possess nucleus or not. If the organism have the nucleus, that is eukaryotic animal. If the organism do not possess the nucleus, that is prokaryotic animal. And also, these animals are unicellulars. Unicellular means single cell organism. And the number of cells that present, unicellular means multicellular. That means more cells. Cell organism. So the Whittaker observed these things whether they possess the nucleus or not. If the organism have the nuclear membrane bound nucleus, that is eukaryotic, and if it does not have the prokaryotic, especially bacteria. So these organisms, Monera here. Okay, now I will explain about this one in the later. Eukaryotic ones which possess the nucleus. Here, which do not possess the nucleus are prokaryotic animals. At the same time, these organisms are made up of either single cell or the multi cells. So the organisms which made up of the single cells are called unicellulars. An organism made up of the more cells, more than the 2 or 3, that is multicellular. Do you understand that? Okay, so even though it is made up of unicellular, it can perform the all life processes like excretion, digestion, respiration, reproduction. All these things it can perform like the multicellular animals. And in the next stage, he has taken the nutrients it acquired. It get the nutrients. For example, if you take all these fungi, Protista, Monera, they acquire the nutrients. They acquire the nutrients in different manner. They acquire the nutrients in a specialized way. And that way, they are classified into different groups. So, if you come to the plants, they are the autotrophs. Plants are autotrophs. How do they acquire these nutrients? Autotrophs. Plants perform the photosynthesis process. By the system, it can acquire the nutrients from the photosynthetic process. So they have a separate group. Do you understand? Plants are autotrophs. Autotrophs means which can perform their own, which can perform the photosynthesis and get their nutrients in their own manner. They can prepare their food by their own manner by the process of photosynthesis. So if you come to the animals, they are heterotrophs. These animals cannot prepare the food materials by themselves. Heterotrophs are animals which do not prepare the food materials. They depend on plants or other plant-eating animals for their food. In that way, they acquire the food about these animals. If you come to the fungi also acquired its nutrients from the place where it lives from the breakdown of the large component molecules. Okay, now from the breakdown of the large organic molecules into simpler ones, it acquire it food. Last, universal common ancestor. Last, universal common ancestor. So, dear students, you have to remind one point: all organisms are evolved from a single common ancestor. Okay, that is NUCA, last universal common ancestor. Okay, so Eubacteria, it is like blue-green bacteria, Archaebacteria. Okay, bacteria. So in the next class, we will discuss about remaining topics. Okay, thank you.